I am the Modifier Ruthless Person Introduction. Time travel to obtain modifiers. Can you easily modify values? From then on, Su River was unstoppable. He changed Mouse and Fly Fist, with a combat power of 3 to Tiger and Crane Double-Shaped Fist, with a combat power of 999. The explosive pill with a score of 2 has been transformed into a 999 congenital quenching pill. The self-created radio gymnastics has been changed to postnatal body control technique. Even the ordinary dagger has been changed to the heavenly sword. Although I have made many changes, I am not the kind of ruthless person you imagine. Chapter 1, Mouse and Fly Fist, Modified 999. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At night. He manages the bookshelves of the small bookstore and plans his life for next month. He is the shopkeeper of this bookstore, but at best, this small bookstore is just a small house, a yard, and he is the shopkeeper. We eat, drink, and sleep here, just making ends meet. And here, it is the largest city in the border county of Dajin, Qin County, as well as the largest military post and the capital of Qin County, Qiankun City. Step. 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 At this moment, there was a sound of a neat formation and soldiers passing by in the distance. The sound was neat and powerful, with a hint of martial arts and a strong sense of oppression. This army is all composed of warriors. Listening to these voices, He sighed inwardly. Unfortunately, those who cannot practice martial arts on their own and rely on their low-level martial arts skills to gather internal strength are extremely difficult. If it were not for those with extraordinary qualifications, it would be difficult for them to step into the martial arts world for a lifetime. During this period, Xianxia has been heavily guarded, and ordinary people like him should be even more cautious and avoid causing trouble in the near future. There are rumors in the market that an almost priceless innate body quenching pill has recently emerged. In order to avoid a big war caused by various parties competing, the Qin family has been heavily guarded and every plant and tree is under threat. The Qin family is a true aristocratic family, and the head of the Qin family is also a hereditary county magistrate of Qin County, with a history of 500 years. However, in recent years, due to internal and external troubles, coupled with the decline of martial arts, the Qin family has suffered a decline. But it's not something anyone can mess with. Moreover, there is a talented descendant of the Qin family who urgently needs this pill recently. This time, the innate body quenching pill probably belongs to the Qin family. Qianxia is located on the border of Dajin, with a strong martial arts culture. Many of the people walking on the streets and lined up in teams are powerful warriors. On this street, there are many who specialize in crafting weapons for warriors, selling elixirs, and also selling books and martial arts like He. The few martial arts books sold in his own bookstore are all extremely low-level street martial arts. The truly impressive martial arts cannot come to his bookstore. The original owner is the owner of this bookstore. A few years ago, he was a refugee from disaster due to a severe drought, but wherever he ran, the city gate was closed and heavily guarded. Until he arrived at Qiankun City, the Qin family opened the city gate to the refugees and provided some food congee, so he stayed in Qiankun City. At first, the original owner only did some small business of buying and selling at a loss. Fortunately, Qianxia had more business dealings with martial arts merchants, so it was not difficult to do business. Later, he saved money and opened such a bookstore, which was considered a settled place. So the original owner and the vast majority of the people in Qianxia have always had a favorable impression of the Qin family. Perhaps inheriting the emotions of the original owner and comparing them in this world, in He's view, the Qin family is also good. Today, the bookstore was closed. He lit an oil lamp and sat at his desk, flipping through a martial arts book called Mouse and Fly Fist and delving into it carefully. During this period of time, he has been trying to cultivate some martial arts, and this book, Mouse and Fly Fist, can already be considered the best martial arts that He can obtain. It can be said that this mouse and fly fist is a modified version of the Qin family's tiger and crane double-shaped fist. It is a low-level variant of the Qin family's tiger and crane double-shaped fist, and is almost the most widely spread martial arts among ordinary warriors in Qin County. Compared to the martial arts of other mediocre streets, it is relatively easy to learn, and the length is also short. Moreover, after those who truly have martial arts talents learn it, if selected by the Qin family, they can seamlessly learn the Qin family's tiger crane double-formed fist to supplement it, which is why it has spread so widely. Unfortunately, the level of this martial arts book is still very low. The lower the level of martial arts, the more difficult it is to concentrate internal energy, and the slower the cultivation speed. To become a true martial artist by relying on this martial arts book to concentrate internal energy, one often needs to practice martial arts from a young age. Perhaps at the age of He, one can concentrate internal energy. As for learning only after reaching adulthood. If one has good talent, spending 10 years may lead to some achievements. Advanced martial arts may solve He's difficulties, but it is not easy to obtain advanced martial arts, and He's economic situation cannot afford it. Under the oil lamp, studying martial arts, he felt dizzy and drowsy. He couldn't even understand this thing, let alone really manipulate and operate the meridians. Ding! Universal numerical modifier. Start. Lying in a daze at the table, He heard a jingle in his ear and opened his eyes again. The world in his eyes seemed to be different. He saw the book in front of him, with a holographic display of a font next to it. The number of heaven and earth in mouse and fly fist. 3.6-inch, a mediocre and slow-paced martial arts book on the streets. He looked at the book in front of him, along with the holographic font. What is the number of heaven and earth? He has seen this word in books. Any martial arts item, whether it is elixir, martial arts, weapons, or talismans, as long as it is included in the product, will be connected to the heaven and earth avenue. The more connected it is, the more it fits the avenue. The more effective reading www.uukangshu.net is. Martial artists often judge the quality of an item based on the number of heaven and earth elements. In some auctions, there are even methods and skilled individuals who can calculate the number of heaven and earth elements of an item and use it as a basis for valuation. But now, He actually saw the world and universe of this martial arts book directly. Vaguely, he could even see 4 silver threads pulling between heaven and earth from the pages of the mouse-fly fist, 3 of which were relatively solid white, and the remaining one was much dimmer. This should be the connection between this martial arts book and the Qiankun Avenue, with 3 bright and 1 dim, and it does indeed meet the value of 3.6. But these are not important. What's important is that He discovered that this value can actually be modified. With a movement of heart and mind, like a swing of an arm, the value begins to change according to one's own wishes. He tentatively deleted the value of 3.6, then entered 999 and clicked OK. At the moment he clicked OK, the number of heaven and earth in the mouse-fly fist froze above 999. Suddenly, the font on the cover of the mouse-fly fist changed. For a moment, bursts of golden light scattered everywhere. The big characters of Xingyi tiger crane double-form fist began to appear. As far as He knows, the tiger and crane double-shaped fist is the earliest ancestor of the Qin family. 500 years ago, he learned it from a martial arts expert who came from an unknown place. That expert had countless skills and planned to pass on his lifelong cultivation when his age was approaching. It is said that before the end of his life, this great master had a total of 13 disciples, and the founder of the Qin family was one of those 13 disciples. Later, the founder of the Qin family established a 500-year foundation in the border of Dejin, guarding the border for 500 years and preventing foreign evil spirits from benefiting at all. Chapter 2, What will 9999 become? You are listening at novelfull.audio. But when there was a shortage of manpower, as time passed, the ancestor of the Qin family also had the day of death. 300 years ago, in a battle between good and evil, the second-generation head of the Qin family died, and the Qin family's experts were seriously injured. The Qin county was littered with corpses. Xianxia fell into a sea of fire, and the shape and meaning tiger and crane double-form fist was completely incomplete. It has become today's tiger crane double fist. Just as He obtained the tiger and crane double-shaped fist, the earth shook slightly. Countless golden auras appeared around the dark city of Qining, and the clouds gradually brightened, transforming into cranes dancing in the air. The golden aura around Qianxia gradually transformed into a fierce tiger leaping into mid-air. It seems like the sun and moon are scorching, and it also seems like mountains and rivers are intertwined. Waves of breath drift away, containing countless martial arts principles. Countless people in Qianxia woke up from their dreams, thinking that it was a breakthrough in the cultivation of the Qin family's experts. Shua. At the same time, in the central mansion of Qianxia, many figures of the Qin family instantly appeared in the mansion, in areas that would not be blocked by the eaves. An old man from the Qin family, dressed in white clothes, with firm and powerful skin, and a strong martial arts aura, also raised his head. All around him are experts from the Qin family without exception. At this moment, everyone, including the old man, was stunned as they gazed at the intertwined tiger and crane figures in the sky, emitting an unparalleled martial arts charm. This is having a sense of form and meaning. Is it difficult? Did someone have the talent to complete the form and meaning of the tiger and crane double-form fist? At this moment, the old man's heart stirred up a huge wave. He is not only the head of the Qin family, but also a renowned martial arts master in the entire Jin dynasty. At this moment, the martial arts charm brought by the tiger and crane twin shapes in the sky, even what he has learned in his lifetime, is completely inferior to the tiger and crane twin shapes in the sky. Who is it? The old man's gaze turned to many members of the Qin family. The tiger and crane double shapes are a secret of the Qin family, and outsiders find it difficult to obtain the martial arts manual of the tiger and crane double shapes. If someone really did it, it could only be from the Qin family. And the other senior members of the Qin family also looked around. No. No. This is even better than the original tiger and crane double shape. It's even more than a star and a half. It's completely stronger than the tiger and crane double shape. The old man was somewhat dazed by his own conclusion. They all looked into the locked room of the Qin family's important area. It has been 50 years since the previous head of the family forcibly closed down when he was seriously injured and killed by a hammer. Is it difficult? Did our ancestors break through? No, his biological father knows how many brushes he has. It can't be him. Is it for that earthly innate quenching pill? The old man stroked his beard and looked over, as if he wanted to include Qianxia sitting there. Master, besides the Qin family members who know how to form both tigers and cranes, the 13 other disciples of our ancestor. Upon hearing these words, the old man's heart trembled. Tell me, this matter. After a while, the old man regained his senses and looked at the disappearing tiger and crane pairs in the sky. He said, "Don't make this public, but spread rumors outside the Great Wall and say that our ancestors have broken through." Another Qin parent hesitated for a while and said, "Master, with the level of our ancestors, isn't it a bit fake?" It's okay. In short, war never tires of deceit. How can they handle it accurately? Isn't it our Qin family ancestor? Looking at the shining golden shape and meaning tiger and crane double fist in front of me, in mid-air, dense golden threads connected to the pages of the book. Without any accidents, it should be 999. This martial arts book is already in perfect harmony with the Tao. Or rather, it was the modifier that forced the Tao to connect with mouse and fly fist, to the point where even the content of mouse and fly fist was rewritten. Even the crumpled paper that used to be wrinkled has now become sheets of special materials that seem to be covered by golden light, resembling paper rather than paper. Looking at it for a moment, the font seemed to have infinite appeal, and he couldn't even see what the text was. He only felt a vague feeling, knowing that each word and sentence was already different from before. The martial arts wisdom contained in it had already made Su-He's blood boil before he could even read and think about its meaning, as if he had undergone countless trials and tribulations. After a while, Su-He finally came to his senses from the content of this cultivation method, without feeling dizzy or overwhelmed, only feeling refreshed and refreshed. He didn't even know that the book in front of him, Xingyi Tiger and Crane Double-Shaped Fist, was even stronger than what the ancestors of the Qin family had learned in the past. Anyway, this is the strongest martial arts skill of the Qin family, which has helped them establish a great cause for several hundred years. For Su-He, it has always been an unattainable martial arts skill. Unexpectedly, just casually entering 999 completely transformed Mao's fly fist into the strongest martial arts of the Qin family. So, what if it's changed to 9999? Do whatever you say, but Su-He doesn't plan to make any further modifications to the already modified shape and meaning Tiger Crane Double-Shaped Fist. In case something goes wrong, it's easy to pick sesame seeds and lose watermelons. He put the shape and meaning Tiger and Crane Double-Shaped Fist in a wooden box, placed it in an inconspicuous corner of the house, and then took out a copy of Mouse and Fly Fist that he planned to sell from the bookshelf. Under the lamp stand, Su-He once again saw the number of heaven and earth in the Mouse Fly Fist, which was still 3.6. Once again, Su-He changed the value and looked at the number 9999 in the modification column. He settled down and picked up a gourd ladle to scoop up a bucket of water from the backyard water tank. He then poured it in, wiped his mouth, and finally returned to his desk and clicked OK. This time, no strange phenomena occurred between heaven and earth. Qiankun Xingyi Divine Skill, as the value was changed to 9999, the book began to emit a golden light, which seemed to have infinite suction and captivating the soul. Su-He stood still, a trembling pressure making him sweat profusely and unable to persevere. Just looking at these words on the written cover, his consciousness is about to collapse. The dense golden threads connect from heaven and earth to the books, connecting with the principles of heaven and earth. With the blessing of all things in the universe, they appear extremely dazzling. No, the position of this thing is too different from his, he is not qualified to practice yet. I don't even have the qualification to open it, and my consciousness is about to be dissolved by the golden light at a glance. He was covered in a cold sweat and his back was cold. He dared not look any further and turned his head, which made him much better. This number must not be increased further. If it were, the energy of the world and the universe might kill him. But if he cultivates the tiger and crane double forms to a certain extent, the result may be different. At that time, he may be able to cultivate this Qiankun Xingyi Divine Skill. Hiding the Qiankun Xingyi Divine Skill and opening it again, Su-He looked at the content inside and almost instantly fell into a hazy state. In his consciousness, what he saw was not words, nor was it ever words. He saw his own unique meridians and 8 meridians, and saw a figure dancing, his internal strength running around him. He began to sway uncontrollably with the movements of the figure, entering a state of selflessness. Chapter 3, Congenital Quenching Pill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He didn't open his eyes until the sky was dimly lit. Su-He looked at the beautiful dawn sky, like a girl's red skirt swaying in the wind, and then looked at his body in tattered clothes, feeling somewhat incredulous. Internal power. I have already consolidated my internal strength. External strength, internal strength, transformation strength, innate, heavenly and human. Each level is further divided into beginners, upper, middle, and lower levels. External strength is equivalent to the level of a gym. Anyone who has learned a few moves and practices can be considered a martial artist with external strength. However, before consolidating their internal strength, they cannot be considered a martial artist who can truly enter the stage and enter the room. Previously, he was even an ordinary person who could only read books and couldn't understand them. But now, his inner strength surges incessantly, clearly becoming a true inner strength warrior who can enter the world. Those who possess inner strength and martial arts can hold any martial arts position in Qiankun, and will never worry about food and clothing for a lifetime. However, he didn't have this interest. Although the income from a small bookstore was not high and he lived a very poor life, fortunately, Xing didn't want to seek a position in the Qin family. Just he touched his stomach and was really hungry. It is said that one should eat well when practicing martial arts, but the so-called big fish and big meat is the bottom line. The true descendants of aristocratic families use elixirs to nourish their bodies, and in terms of eating, they are actually free to do as they please. He still has a few taels of silver in his hand, and he plans to go out and get some pills. Leaving the door of the bookstore, there is a restaurant across from it. The trend of valuing martial arts is prevalent in Qiankun, with a large number of martial artists coming and going. On this street, there are many people who specialize in crafting weapons for martial artists, selling elixirs, as well as those like He who sell books, especially martial arts and techniques. There are many martial artists boasting about the restaurant across the street, and from time to time, you can hear some rumors in the community. Just a few steps west, there is a pharmacy that sells pills. It was already early morning, and there were already people coming and going on the street. The sound of hammering could be heard not far away. But he didn't intend to enjoy this moment of leisure. He took his savings and went to the pharmacy to buy some useless pills, either from the streets or from the furnace, and brought them home. Along the way, he didn't forget to negotiate the price. In the backyard of the bookstore, he held a regular health pill, which is a pill that can improve and maintain physical fitness, but has little effect. It is also a kind of rotten pill, and the difficulty of refining it is not high. But victory lies in affordability. He could see that this pill was only connected to the heaven and earth Qiankun by 2 silk threads, which was only 2.2 less than the mousefly fist. But this value can still be modified. And the pill box also had a seal written in seal script. It has the function of blocking medicinal qi, otherwise if the pill is left outside for a long time, its power will dissipate. Even this pill box has a value of 0.2, which can be considered a magic weapon. He once again removed the value of the nourishing pill and changed it to 999, then click OK. After he clicked OK, he watched helplessly as it turned into a round pill emitting golden light. And the original paper pill box has also been modified, now it has become a white jade pill box. Through the number of heaven and earth, it can be seen that there are dense threads connecting heaven and earth. The medicinal substance is crystal clear white, emitting a strong aroma like rain and dew. Just the medicinal fragrance makes He feel comfortable and slightly numb. For a moment, a little purple qi formed, intending to cause a celestial anomaly. This is not good. He quickly closed the elixir box, and so it happened to seal the medicinal qi, completely stopping the illusion of heaven and earth. Congenital body quenching pill, heaven and earth Qiankun number 999 inch, a congenital body quenching pill that can greatly improve martial arts talents. It is difficult to refine, very rare, and priceless. Congenital body quenching pill. He was a bit confused for a moment. Recently, there have been so many ups and downs in Qin County, and so many martial artists have gathered because there is an innate body quenching pill that is now in the world. And now, I have one here. And maybe I'll have many pills like this next. Quietly opening a gap in the pill box, he was shocked to see this ancient pill. My martial arts talent is probably at the average level of an ordinary person, and this is a top-notch pill for enhancing talent. Gudong. Without hesitation, he swallowed it into his mouth. If this pill is left outside, there may be a risk of being discovered. Eating it quickly is the best choice. When the pill enters the abdomen, it turns into a huge warm current rushing towards every corner of the body, which is very comfortable. As the medicinal power entered, I could even feel the 8 extraordinary meridians and the muscles and bones of my body constantly changing. After an unknown amount of time, even my internal strength was growing. The incredibly comfortable feeling, even the problems that were originally caused by famine and other malnutrition in the body were swept away at this moment. Dong dong dong. Accompanied by 3 surges of internal energy, the medicinal power was gradually digested. The pinnacle of internal strength and top quality. External strength, internal strength, transformation strength, innate strength, heaven and humanity. This is clearly a pill that only improves physical fitness and does not enhance cultivation. But now, I have even improved my level by searching for the book garden www.zhaozuiyuan.com. Perhaps my physical condition was damaged due to malnutrition and other tiredness, and I even suffered from hunger and famine, which suppressed the results of my first cultivation. Now it has erupted again. A top-notch internal strength expert, who can now serve as a grand commander or a military general in the Qin mansion. Unexpectedly, the most basic internal strength martial artist who entered directly from internal strength, broke through 3 levels in a row and became a superior internal strength martial artist. At this moment, his way of looking around was different. He realized that no matter what actions he made, there was a martial arts charm in every move he made. This is like a natural change brought about by the combination of talent and martial arts. It is easy to learn to be foolish but difficult to learn to be clever, but even so, he walked awkwardly for half a day before suppressing this special trait. To prevent being noticed by outsiders. Unexpectedly, just the improvement of talent can elevate his realm to the next level. And the changes in constitution are even more extraordinary. However, he is just a physical mortal, and his physique is not special. Even if his talent is high, he is just a highly gifted mortal. It is said that the heavenly pride of the Qin family, the successor to the future head of the family, is an innate binary with a high talent. His physique is extraordinary, and even in the same realm, his strength will definitely be more than that of his peers. And like Su He, a highly talented mortal body is only fast in cultivation, but at the same level, it can definitely not defeat the Tianjiao of the Qin family. This can be considered a small problem that Xiuhe is currently facing. However, Su He doesn't want to do so much anymore. He still has more than 20 pills in his hand. If these pills were all modified. Chapter 4, Another Batch of Pills. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Of course, one should not take too many pills at once. When practicing martial arts, one should follow the routine. According to their current situation, as long as they persist, it is only a matter of time before they reach a higher level. However, the fact that one can possess so many treasures and has now become an inner martial artist must be kept confidential. Everything must also be done with caution to avoid unnecessary trouble. In this way, he transformed those pills into more than 20 innate quenching pills used to change constitution, Tianyan Huanyuan pills used to assist in cultivation and enhance cultivation, and even some healing pills and extremely toxic poison pills. Most of these poison pills are modified from explosive pills. As for those precious divine pills that are competing for life and death outside, I estimate that I can eat one every day after Xiuhe. But this thing is not suitable for eating too much in a short period of time. Eating too much can cause a fire. If outsiders were to know that the reason Su He didn't take the pill was actually because he was afraid of getting overheated, so he had to immediately become infuriated and jump in anger. Dong dong, the door of Su He's small bookstore was knocked on by someone, and Su He knew who the person was. When he opened the door, a burly man stood outside and entered without looking outside. This person is Zhang Long, a colleague who fled with Su He in the past. After escaping to Qining City, he joined the Qin family army because he still had a lot of strength, and it seems that his talent is quite good. In addition, he has some foundation. After 3 years, he successfully gathered his inner strength, and now he is also a powerful lower-grade martial artist with inner strength. The two of them are also old acquaintances, and they don't live far away. If the other party knew that He had been promoted from an ordinary person to a top-grade inner martial artist in one night, they would have been shocked. This night has been really tiring. The incident of breaking the elixir had already caused a stir. Last night, for some reason, there was a strange phenomenon of a tiger and a crane in the city, which shocked many people to inquire everywhere. Just this night, rumors kept going on. Now there are people in the city who are afraid of running away, as well as people from all walks of life who want to make money while the situation is chaotic. Just the troublemakers, we caught more than 10 people today. Zhang Long picked up the teacup from He's table and poured it in with a thud. In recent years, relying on his inner strength and inferior level, he has also taken on the position of a military commander in Qiankun. Although he is still a minor official, he has done a lot of things. Listen to him. You said this vision won't come long or late, but it happens to come late at night. The constables in the yamen won't be busy at all, so they just transferred us big-headed soldiers. I didn't have any free time this night, but I was exhausted. He awkwardly smiled, and it wasn't him who was the culprit of this vision at night. Speaking of which, being able to open this bookstore on my own is thanks to having such a friend to take care of me. Otherwise, it would be difficult to seek stability in this world. This time, you have to thank me. Zhang Long put down his teacup and smiled, saying, I heard that you have been studying martial arts recently. Last night, there was a shopkeeper of a pharmacy who was actually a spy from a demon realm outside the domain. When I saw a vision, I wanted to send messages outside that night and was caught. His pharmacy was also raided. Although he was a spy, he was actually selling medicine. These medicines are not effective for me anymore, but I believe you can use them. Speaking, Zhang Long took out a bag and shook it in front of He. If you can achieve something, come to me and I'll take you on it. Once opened, there are all kinds of nourishing and auxiliary cultivation pills. These pills can be a big help to He. Because even if it's a pill from a bad street, it's difficult to eat it casually with He's economic conditions. Unexpectedly, his friend who escaped famine this time really helped him at this time. There are at least 30 or 40 pills inside. Although the pills that can be sold in ordinary street pharmacies are usually sold to non-mainstream warriors on the street, with low prices and poor materials. They may be useful for non-mainstream warriors, but there are no bad pills in the hands of the Su River Modifier. It's not for free, you have to treat me to a drink. Zhang Long smiled. Please, please. He nodded and smiled. In a blink of an eye, 3 seasons of spring, summer, autumn, and winter have passed. He also spent this period of peaceful cultivation with the help of pills. For the past 3 years, He has remained calm and self-disciplined, setting up a stall to sell books every day and focusing on cultivation at night, without any unnecessary incidents. Through Zhang Long and He, we learned. The Qin family eventually obtained the precious innate body quenching pill that was enough to make countless warriors sacrifice their lives to fight, and let the Qin family's heavenly pride take it. This Qin family prodigy's name is Qingzhen. Although he has a high talent, he doesn't think highly of himself. He is very popular both in the military and among the people. With the blessing of the congenital quenching body pill, his innate binary body was strengthened and he entered the realm rapidly. At the beginning of this year, at the age of just 35, he achieved the innate inferior realm, which already possessed the strength to dominate. Relying on his innate binary and innate inferior realm, find the book Garden www.zhaoxuan.com. This arrogant Qin family led his troops to fight against the demon cultivators outside the Great Wall, personally charging forward. He won 3 battles and 3 victories, losing 6 demon cultivators in a row, and had an unparalleled reputation. People say that this is a sign of the revival of the Qin family. In 3 years, he almost edited all the martial arts that could be sold in his own bookstore. In addition to Xingyi Tiger Crane Double Form Fist, he also changed the ordinary 9-move sword technique foundation to 9 Heavens Divine Sword. Also changed the ordinary Introduction to Arrow Art to Autumn Water Long Sky Arrow. Changed Qiao Jin Dao Fa to Tian Gang Zhenli Dao. Most importantly, he found a solution to his lack of special physical condition. That is to say, he changed the book in the store, which he thought was no different from radio gymnastics, from fitness and wellness techniques to postnatal body control technique, which also allowed him to develop a postnatal body control in the past 3 years. If we talk about the strongest physique in the world, He, as a bookstore owner, has learned through various martial arts and martial arts books that, on a known level, the strongest one is probably the innate dominant body. But if it is not innate from the mother's womb, then it is basically not. I don't know how strong the postnatal tyrant's physical ability is, and how much better he can be compared to the innate binary of the Qin family's younger generation. He has been selling books honestly for the past 3 years, sometimes secretly adding more than 10 points of value to some martial arts pills and selling them to make some money. This money only needs to be used for his daily expenses, such as buying some pills from the bad streets. If he has nothing to do, he can go to the opposite restaurant and drink 1 or 2 cups of small wine, which is enough. In the past 3 years, he didn't know how many pills he had taken to improve his physique or enhance his strength. With the help of elixirs, he successfully cultivated the shape and meaning tiger and crane double form fist to a great extent, and the distance was completely completed, probably this year. Chapter 5, Inheritance of Soul Art. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time, many other martial arts that were difficult to cultivate were also comprehended by him. With the blessing of various martial arts, elixirs, and postnatal dominance, he has successfully entered the realm of innate excellence. External strength, internal strength, transformation strength, innate strength, heaven and humanity. The distance between heaven and humanity is only 1 layer away. If outsiders were to know that the so-called Qin family's arrogance, a 35-year-old congenital inferior, was not worth mentioning in front of He, they might not even be able to close their mouths. That Tianjiao, born inferior, is 35 years old. And He, at the age of 25, was born with top-quality skills, and with the addition of his heavenly dominance body, he was blessed with powerful martial arts. The heavenly pride of the Qin family may not be able to pass a single move in He's hands. If outsiders still know that 3 years ago, He was an ordinary person who had hardly stepped into martial arts and only knew how to watch but not practice, it would probably be so shocking that he couldn't even take his eyes back. Today, when he looked at the book Qiankun Xingyi Divine Arts with a value of 9,999, he no longer felt that dangerous feeling. It will not be crushed by its pressure. Perhaps, by the time my shape and meaning tiger and crane double form fist is completely completed, achieving the realm of heaven and humanity, it is about time to practice Qiankun shape and meaning divine skill. However, although my level has rapidly improved and I have practiced and taken top-notch techniques and elixirs that outsiders must compete for, my strength is specific. He doesn't know how strong the destructive power of the combination of the acquired body in the innate top grade can be. I have never tried it before. Perhaps one day, I should try my skills. Early morning. He walked out of the bookstore wearing a white cloth suit. The streets outside are filled with red lanterns, and the streets are full of joy. This is only October, not the time of the new year, but a time of great joy for Qianxia and even the entire Qin county. The heavenly pride of the Qin family went to battle outside the Great Wall. 3 months ago, he won and returned to his army, and the entire Qin county celebrated for him. The Qin family is building momentum for this Tianjiao named Qin Zhen. In He's view, this is really a manifestation of external strength but internal strength. The Qin family has actually reached a dead end and just wants to try to create momentum for themselves. The more fragile a wild cat is, the higher its fur stands and the more ferocious it barks. It should be noted that during their heyday, the Qin family and the great Jin did not follow the path of today's belligerent style, but instead received tribute from all directions together with the great Jin, and the Qin family treated others with leniency. Because at that time, both inside and outside the Great Wall knew that the Qin family was completely unbeatable and would never dare to harass the border of Jin. The frequent outbreak of war nowadays is essentially due to the fact that the barbarians of the evil path have not taken the Qin family, Qin county, and even the entire Jin dynasty seriously. GABA. GABA. He poured a bottle of congenital body quenching pill into his mouth and ate it as peanuts. Now, taking congenital body quenching pill has become a daily health necessity for him. This pill strengthens the body and is a kind of fun. If those warriors knew about this, they would have to hold their heads and cry bitterly. The precious pill that could make countless people compete for life and death became a snack for him to chew. He chewed while looking at the bustling street market, as if this Xianxia was going out of the city again today to do something big. "Brother Su, what are you eating?" He sat on a small chair at the entrance of the bookstore. Zhang Long, dressed in armor, walked over with a few large-headed soldiers not far away and asked with a smile. Zhang Long always finds leisure in his busy schedule or greets He when passing by this market. He also understood his meaning, just to tell unrelated people around him that his bookstore was covered by someone. It is indeed because of Zhang Long that he has saved himself a lot of trouble in his daily life. Although he is no longer afraid of the cats and dogs on this street, and his strength has even surpassed Zhang Long by several levels, he is still very grateful for Zhang Long's help until now. "Eat a few hazelnuts," he said with a smile, taking out a bag of hazelnuts from the bookstore counter and throwing it to Zhang Long. "How about some?" Zhang Long caught the hazelnut and stopped in front of He's bookstore, saying, "Today is a great blessing for my entire Qin county." He also peeled the hazelnuts and asked. Recently, the Qin family announced to the world that there is a soul art inheritance that will reappear in the world, which was left by the Qin family's ancestors. This inheritance site is only opened every 50 years, and anyone who can enter the secret realm and persist for 5 hours can see the subsequent soul art inheritance. Zhang Long was eating hazelnuts and said. But the difficulty of this secret realm is too high. In the past 500 years, only 3 people have successfully learned this soul art inheritance. This time, the Qin family has great confidence in the Tianjiao of our Qin county, and it is estimated that they can regain the soul art inheritance. Even this time, the secret realm has been opened to the public, allowing all major clans or famous martial artists in the world to come and try this secret realm of the Qin family. Creating momentum. He immediately understood the meaning of the Qin family's actions. This secret realm is probably very difficult, and ordinary warriors cannot pass through it, but no outsiders have set foot in it before. Zhaozuiyuan.com The Qin family wants outsiders to experience the difficulty of this secret realm, in order to highlight the strength of this arrogant person. If Qianjiao fails to obtain the inheritance, it is easy for outsiders to laugh at him, and his reputation towards the Qin family is not good at this moment. However, if all the martial artists in the world cannot obtain it, then it is not embarrassing for Qin Zhen, Tianjiao, not to obtain it. It can only demonstrate how powerful the foundation left by the founder of the Qin family is. If Tianjiao obtains it, outsiders will also feel the difficulty of this secret realm, which will further promote the Qin family. Anyway, opening up to the outside world is indeed a smart decision. However, haven't 3 people obtained this soul technique before? Why hasn't there been any inheritance left, such as in books? He asked. Yeah. Someone did record the content of soul art before, but these are all secrets of the Qin family that outsiders cannot see. Zhang Long said. And after all, this secret realm was left by the founder, who had superb skills. If you can pass through the secret realm and see the inheritance stone tablet behind, you can feel the enlightenment and directly learn that powerful soul technique to a small level. Subsequent learning will also be smooth sailing. Soul art is already rare and powerful, and it is said to be one of the techniques passed down by that great expert back then. He remembered the well-known story. The founder of the Qin family once practiced martial arts with a powerful warrior who, before his death, divided his martial arts into 13 parts and passed them on to his 13 disciples. Some learned swordsmanship, and some palm techniques, while the founder of the Qin family learned boxing. If we can gather all the martial arts of the 13 disciples, it may be possible to complete the techniques practiced by that expert. It was just that someone had tried it before, but the difficulty was too high. Just completing an incomplete version would make him go crazy, and in the end, no one dared to try again. Chapter 6, Testing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This soul technique was originally one of the 13 martial arts, but after the ancestor's death, just like the Xingyi tiger and crane double form fist, 500 years have passed. These incomplete inheritances and generations have passed, and this soul technique has also been lost. Zhang said. Only the founder of the Qin family had a great time getting along with his fellow disciple and only received a small amount of incomplete books. However, even so, this can still be considered one of the most powerful soul techniques today. Soul art. He muttered to himself. Soul technique, he doesn't have it yet. It's not like boxing, which can be practiced from an ordinary person. Soul technique cannot be practiced outside of martial artists who gather internal strength, and often even the weakest soul technique has a high level. And the value is very high, even he cannot afford any book. So he has never seen soul art before. I have never learned any soul spells. It can be said that his understanding of soul art is basically equivalent to zero. If you encounter someone using soul spells to attack you, it seems that you don't even have any defense or counterattack abilities. For He, this is really a big weakness. If I could take a look at that soul technique myself, and write it into a book after coming back, and then modify the values, this secret realm is open for a total of 10 days, and non-powerful warriors cannot enter. As Zhang continued, even I have heard that the power of this secret realm makes the incoming warriors, regardless of their realm, generate a matching force to hinder the progress of the cultivator. Only those with strong natural constitution and strength can pass. This time, with so much excitement, it is to bid farewell to Qinzhen leaving the city. The trial's secret realm is located 50 miles south of Qincheng on the Formation Mountain. If young Master Tianjiao receives the inheritance and shakes the world, it is estimated that in the next 100 years, Qin County will enjoy peace. He nodded, which was a good thing for him. If the Qin family could maintain stability, he could continue his cultivation and say, then heaven bless me, Qin County, and heaven bless me, the Jin. In the early morning of that day, he opened the sealed door of the bookstore and saw the bustle outside. The martial artists and people on the street were running around, telling each other that there seemed to be some great joy. In the great Jin dynasty, various martial artists and talents from all over the world gathered in Qin County, and many families and sects visited one after another. On the first day, there were a total of 125 martial arts masters from all walks of life who entered the secret realm, none of whom could survive for an hour. On the second day, Lin Chang'an, the son of the Lin family magistrate of Nanlin County, persisted for 3 hours, only 1 foot away from the center of the secret realm, and retreated from the formation due to exhaustion of internal strength. Until the 5th day, no one could break the record of 3 hours. On the 6th day, Qin Zhen, the heavenly pride of the Qin family, was born into a binary entity. After taking the innate body quenching pill, Qin Zhen finally decided to enter the secret realm and survive for 5 hours to obtain the inheritance of soul art. The willpower of this arrogant young master is really strong. When he came out, he was soaked in blood all over, even his cold iron armor was in tatters. However, even so, his face remained unchanged, and he was truly a hero. The Qin family is sure to prosper this time. As He listened to the storyteller at the opposite restaurant speaking vividly, he didn't know his strength. Compared to Qin Zhen, who is stronger or weaker? My own realm is greater than Qin Zhen's two small realms. Perhaps I have accumulated more internal strength and can persist better. This secret realm can effectively test the true strength of a warrior, and even after practicing, I don't know what kind of person I can fight against. Moreover, my current lack of soul skills. He felt that it was necessary for him to go there. But it can't be when there are many people, it's best to sneak in quietly at night. That night. At the foot of the back mountain outside the city of Qining. This was originally an unnamed mountain, and after the founder of the Qin family established the inheritance secret realm here, it was called the Formation Mountain. He, dressed in black and wearing a face scarf, stepped directly over the mountain gate at the foot of the mountain. Why are there so many flowers? As soon as I stepped into the mountain gate, the originally dark night suddenly shone brightly, and in front of me was a vast expanse of pink flowers. These illusions are all formed through soul techniques. It is said that advanced soul techniques are not meant to attack the opponent's divine consciousness, but can condense actual attacks with the power of divine souls, which can open mountains and crack the ground, rather than ethereal attacks. That is to say, although the flower see here is a condensation of soul techniques, it is also a truly existing thing. At the same time, a wave of pressure rushed towards us, but it was not severe. But it seems that this pressure is gradually weakening over time, and He roughly understands why it took 5 hours. As long as you enter slowly, you can weaken the pressure until 5 hours, which should be the most likely time for a person's physical strength to combine with the pressure here. But if you can't persist for even 5 hours, then you really can't pass through here. Stepping over the flowers, He found that his pants legs had been cut open. The petals of these flowers, like sharp knives, would cut open his pants legs and even the soles of his shoes. These were all bought with money, and there was no other way. He had to take off his shoes, roll up his pants, and step on them, but for some reason, it was quite comfortable to step on. He casually picked a flower and picked up a beautiful pebble that looked like glass at zhaozuiyuan.com. It seems that neither the pebbles nor the flowers are special. This pebble seems quite beautiful, it would be great to bring it back as a souvenir. Suddenly, many petals flew up into the air and shot straight towards the Su River. Why is it so slow? He stepped lightly, but could easily dodge. If his figure were to be seen by a low-end warrior, he might have acted like a ghost, but in his own perception, he was just walking casually. He caught a petal casually, but did not feel any danger. The petals were in He's hand, like ordinary petals, squeezed into a ball by him. As the petals were squeezed into a ball, the smooth pebbles he also held in his palm were cut with terrifying scratches by the petals. I see, but the difficulty of this outer layer is still a bit low. I heard that the inheritance stone steel is in the center, you can go in and take a look. In front of He, there was a road of steps, with every 9 steps being 1 level. Stepping up the 9 steps, he reached a higher level, and his power suddenly doubled. However, for He, it is still very light. After taking 2 quick steps, the first layer passed. On the second floor, there is rain, like arrows shooting at each other. On the third floor, there is wind, passing by like blades. If it weren't for He using some true Qi to protect his body, his clothes would have been scratched. He knows how Qin Zhen's armor broke. It is said that this staircase, which is layered every 9 steps, is a rare genius to pass 3 levels, but He did not feel any difficulty. He just walked towards the center of the formation like a fleeting observation. Chapter 7, Tiger Crane Double Shape. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. 1 layer of flowers, 2 layers of rain, 3 layers of wind, 4 layers of snow. It is said that the difficulty level will gradually increase at the 5th layer. It is said that Lin Chang'an from the Lin family spent 3 hours walking to the 8th layer and was ultimately defeated by the demons on the 8th layer. These are too difficult for He to detect his true strength. When he saw the demon in front of him, he was slightly excited. It is said that even Qin spent a lot of time here and was also injured for the first time. This is a gray-black rocky hill, surrounded by several withered trees. The sky is shrouded in dark clouds, and there are even dead bones. It looks like a challenger from 500 years who accidentally died here. Those demons, who were already walking corpses and appeared to be red-eyed and black-skinned humans, are now lifeless. Each of them has at least the power to transform energy levels. Although their realm is much worse than He's, they have a huge number of victories and charge towards them densely. During the day, Qin entered the formation with his sword. On the ground, there were still many blood stains and the remnants of many demons, and he had fought his way to the next level. Then I'll try the Xingyi Tiger Crane double fist. He raised his hand and punched. Suddenly, just hear a loud roar. A terrifying aura erupted fiercely, and the demons exploded and died one after another. However, the aura did not diminish and suddenly hit the rocky ground. Countless black smoke and powder formed a rolling thick smoke, and the earth trembled continuously until the dust dissipated, leaving a huge fist mark in its original place. Whether it's bones, trees, limbs, or demons around, they all disappear and destroy. He was slightly stunned. He just punched and all these demons died. It seems that I'm still too weak, and I can't figure out my strength yet. Why is it so simple? Is it so difficult that it weakens at night to save energy for the secret realm? Shaking his head, He continued walking until he reached the back. At this point it was already a sea of swords and flames, and the scorching wind swept up huge waves of magma. The warrior had to expend a lot of internal strength to resist the invasion. But he didn't feel anything unusual. Those attacks, in front of his acquired body, couldn't even compare to electric heating. It can only be said that the dominant physique, as the strongest among all special constitutions, is something that extraordinary people can harm. Although it is an acquired dominant body, the power that erupts at will is incomparable to others. Until the flames and knives passed, He didn't feel any pressure. It is said that in the area close to the center, which is about 15 floors, there will be a strong gap in the surrounding pressure. Even Qin needs to use internal strength to counter it in order to continue moving inward. The 33rd layer, on the other hand, is the true center of the secret realm. To reach there, one must use their body methods to evade the terrifying siege of the two divine beasts in the center, catch a glimpse of the content on the inheritance stone tablet in a short period of time, and then quickly escape. Never expose yourself to pressure for more than 3 breaths. Otherwise, not only will they bear the attacks of divine beasts, but the pressure alone will be enough to crush people to death. Under pressure, within 3 breaths, one must also make sure not to be attacked by 2 divine beasts, otherwise they will die if touched. After walking for so long, He didn't even use his internal strength to easily step over here. Is it so difficult that it's not close to the 15th floor yet? Did I walk the wrong way? It's already counting to the 15th floor, no wonder they spent so much time, there's no map here. I guess those experts got lost, which caused them to spend so much time. When he left, he didn't take it very seriously to count how many floors he had walked, but there was no pressure. He walked like a tourist, estimating the time, and it only took about a minute or 2. The further back, the greater the pressure. Until now, the pressure ahead is like a thick door, and under the blue sky and white clouds, there is a flower field like a layer, but this flower no longer poses a threat and will not cut people. Finally, there's a gap in the paragraph. It's probably 15 levels. Stepping into this area, He stretched his limbs. The Tianba body is indeed strong, with 15 layers. Even Qin has to use internal strength to resist pressure. I can save some internal strength, but it still doesn't feel comfortable. I feel all the muscles in my body are tight. A tiger and a crane gradually took shape in mid-air, stirring infinite energy like a golden storm. The tigers and cranes leaped and entwined, suddenly looking towards the Su River. He looked excitedly at the tiger and crane, but he didn't expect a surprise on the 15th floor. Perhaps I should also use the tiger and crane double to compete with them. The tiger and crane suddenly weighed heavily on the sky, with the tiger representing the Kun and the crane representing the Qian. They rolled the infinite number of heaven and earth into a heavy pressure and surged down towards the Su River. What Su he is facing seems to have never been the tiger and crane duo in front of him, but rather the whole world united to deal with Su he. It's a bit interesting. The tiger and crane twin shapes regard themselves as the universe. They can find the book Garden www.zhaozuiyuan.com, but they can also borrow the universe from heaven and earth. He laughed excitedly as he could feel the intimidation of the tiger and crane in front of him. Boom! Operate the dominant body, take a sudden step on the ground, leap diagonally upwards, and a deep depression on the ground appears, rolling up countless dust particles. In the dust, he seemed like a bullet emerging from the dust, flying upwards and directly attacking the tiger and crane twin. He swept through the sky and earth, with waves of golden inner strength emerging from his skin. He turned his dominance to the extreme, causing a qualitative change in his inner strength. Hoo. He punched out, and the terrifying sound of breaking the wind was deafening. The tiger and crane-shaped fists, with the momentum of heaven and earth, headed straight towards the one tiger and one crane in mid-air. With a thud, he instantly collided with the tiger and crane. Unexpectedly, this tiger and crane are indeed difficult to deal with. Despite being heavily attacked, their power remains undiminished. He was excited about the battle, and he had long forgotten about the layers. Now he just wanted to compete with this tiger crane to see who was stronger. Over the past 3 years, countless innate body quenching pills have been used to refine his body, and countless nourishing and marrow-cutting pills have helped him improve his martial arts. However, shape, meaning, tiger, and crane twin forms has yet to be completed, only to the point of great success. Perhaps the modified values actually exceeded the original shape and meaning of the tiger crane double form, or for some other reason, which prevented this martial arts from being fully cultivated. Although 3 years of cultivation to a great extent outside is enough to shock a person's chin, after all, it takes more than 10 or even several decades to cultivate a high-level martial arts book to reach the level of Xiaocheng. It is almost unprecedented to cultivate the form, meaning, tiger, and crane double forms to a great extent in just 3 years. But if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. If you can't cultivate the tiger and crane double shapes, it always makes people feel like something is missing. Chapter 8, Trouble Made. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But now, when fighting against the tiger and crane, He's Xingyi tiger and crane double fist is gradually improving. At this moment, the secret realm was in turmoil, and the aftermath of the battle overturned patches of land. Waves of warm and overflowing energy gradually transformed into scorching heat, and every plant and tree in this area began to burn, turning into a realm of purgatory. After an unknown amount of time, He laughed in mid-air, unable to fly, but relying on attacks and defenses, he stayed in mid-air with a tiger and a crane. His body began to feel waves of the universe, with waves of blue and yellow water covering his entire body. The Xingyi tiger crane double fist is completely complete. Accompanied by a huge internal shock and a burst of pressure spreading everywhere, He successfully broke through the realm of heaven and humanity. He grinned and said, "No wonder Qin Zhen came out with blood all over his body. This time, I successfully broke through the realm of heaven and humanity, and practiced the double forms of form, meaning, tiger, and crane to perfection. This time, I should be able to try practicing the 99-99-inch Qiankun form and meaning divine skill. Even the 999 form of tiger and crane is so powerful. I really don't know how powerful a martial arts skill like Qiankun form and meaning divine skill can unleash, reaching the limit of 4 digits. Speaking, He paused and looked at the phantom of a tiger and a crane, his eyes full of confidence. Now, it's almost time to end. I can't get stuck on the 15th floor. If I don't blow up these two, I won't be able to go in and see soul spells. Seeing He with a smile on his face and lifting his hand into a fist, a strange phenomenon suddenly appeared behind him. Countless forces of heaven and earth quickly condensed behind him, and a pair of tiger and crane double shapes with a body size no weaker than this formation suddenly took shape. However, this tiger and crane double shape has more charm than the tiger and crane double shapes in the formation. That is to say, this set of tiger and crane dual forms is much more exquisite than what the formation builders have learned. Boom! Suddenly, a tiger and a crane in the secret realm exploded, and all the pressure around them dissipated. The tiger and crane transformed into two light dots and flew into the hands of He. Before seeing what it was, He saw the inheritance stone tablet in the center. A large amount of information is transformed into a golden stream of light, entering the sea of consciousness of Su River through a stone tablet in a way similar to soul magic. Others can only take a glance, but He can observe carefully. Boom! Boom! Waves of earth and mountains shook, and deafening sounds emanated from the mountains behind Qiankun. It's Mount Zhen. There's something wrong with Mount Zhen. The Qin family was in a panic. And the old man in white shouted with several other important figures of the Qin family, who is disturbing the inheritance of our Qin family ancestral formation. Go to the formation mountain. At this moment, inside the Qin mansion, Qin Zhen walked out with a tired body. He frowned as he looked towards the direction of the formation mountain, and once again urged his internal strength to use his lightness skills, heading towards the direction of the formation mountain. Did I come out of the formation? He stood on the mountaintop, slightly stunned. Just as he absorbed all the information from the inheritance stone tablet, all the illusions around him disappeared, and he looked around at a scene of chaos. Shouldn't it be? This is actually the last layer, right? I only need to take a glance at the stone tablet to leave, but I have slaughtered the two divine beasts guarding the inheritance. At this moment, looking at the surrounding scenery, the ground on the mountaintop cracked, trees broke and collapsed, and He was slightly stunned. Did you also cause such a big disturbance outside the formation? No, we have to go. In an instant, Su River disappeared into its original place. When the warriors of the Qin family approached the formation mountain, their hearts trembled greatly. Someone has broken through the secret realm. When a group of people arrived at the mountaintop, the trees broke and the rocks cracked. Seeing the surrounding scenery, the head of the family's heart sank. Someone directly broke into the secret realm of the immortals, and even the tiger and crane twin forms, which were passed down by the central guardian, were killed. How could it be? Qin Zhen's face turned pale beside him. With his strength, he could now be considered a rare expert, but he could only hold on for 3 breaths under pressure. For those two divine beasts, he was powerless to parry, and he knew the difficulty best. This mountain has only been 2 hours since nightfall, and before nightfall. Someone is cleaning the mountain gate. At this moment, the homeowner reached out his hand and felt the martial arts aura around him. That is to say, the person who broke through this secret realm only had 2 hours at most, and he couldn't come at night. In other words, he entered the center of the secret realm before even 2 hours had passed, and even killed the tiger and crane twin forms in such a short time. Qin Zhen listened to the master's words, clenched her fists, and the wounds on her body and arms once again oozed blood and water. Even he followed the normal process and spent 5 hours waiting to adapt to the pressure before daring to enter the center. He is a talented person who has taken a complete innate body quenching pill, born into a martial arts family, the successor to the next head of the family, and the largest defender and prefect in the future frontier of Jin. Since birth, he has been blessed with an innate dual body. But now, it seems that he, even the entire Qin family, is so insignificant in front of the person who broke the formation, looking for the Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com. Master. It's the Tao rhyme of the tiger and crane double shapes. This person used the tiger and crane double-shaped fist. At this moment, a family elder asked tentatively, can it be related to the anomaly of the tiger and crane double shapes 3 years ago? Previously, he completed the tiger and crane double forms. Now he is likely here to complete the soul technique. He is a great master who wants to repeat the glory of his ancestors back then. Back in the day, when our ancestor was nearing the end of his life, a total of 13 disciples were recruited to pass on his martial arts to future generations. The 13 disciples taught a total of 13 different martial arts, including legs, fists, palms, swords, spears, bows, daggers, sounds, souls, formations, eyes, and intentions. One of the techniques of boxing, my ancestor only taught me the ancestor of the Qin family, and only my Qin family has inherited it. Unfortunately, our Qin family is guilty of our ancestors. Due to their difficulty in cultivation and constant wars, they have become incomplete by the 3rd generation. This person. I'm afraid he's not someone with great ambitions. He came to our Qin county to repair the lost fist. If these 13 martial arts are integrated, we can synthesize the Qiankun Xingyi divine skill. Based on my speculation, he probably not only wants Xingyi tiger crane double-formed fist and this soul technique, but also wants to use his own strength to fill the gap in martial arts. Make the Qiankun Xingyi divine skill reappear in the world. Listening to the master's words, the elders and Qin Zhen on the side took a deep breath. They have all heard about the difficulty of practicing the shape and meaning tiger and crane double-formed fist alone. Its difficulty makes it difficult for ordinary geniuses to fully learn, resulting in the original manual being burned and the boxing manual being incomplete. Shape and meaning tiger and crane double-formed fist has become a partially lost and incomplete version. It is even more incredible to complete the tiger and crane double-shaped fist. But now it is said that this person's goal may be to complete the complete Qiankun Xingyi divine arts. Chapter 9. Qiankun Xingyi Shengong, 9999. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How brave a person must be, what a terrifying genius, to dare to think and do something. This is the strongest martial arts technique that has appeared for thousands of years, surpassing the shape and meaning tiger and crane double-formed fist by 10 times. Master. I'm afraid I was shocked too much by this adventurer, right? I just don't know how much this senior has completed, and whether he can succeed. There are great volunteers who often have the courage to do such things, but this matter is dangerous. Throughout history, those who can succeed are not 1 in 100. If their talent is not enough and they make mistakes in deduction, they will be backfired by the martial arts. In the end, they will all die for themselves. The homeowner said. The possibility of the completion of Qiankun Xingyi Shengong is not high. The calamity of the blood moon is approaching. According to the imperial court's Tianjin, 5 years later, the calamity of the blood moon will come. At that time, the demonic world will surge, and the evil world in all directions will come. Our martial arts will decline, and I wonder if there is still the power to turn the tide. If there could be a day-long master who can use one person's power to defeat the world's demonic and evil ways, it may be possible to break the siege. One person's power. Another elder exclaimed in shock, isn't the head of the household joking? This matter was once done by the ancestor of the teacher back then. Do you think you, me, and the court really have enough strength to resist this time? They can't even pay ordinary soldiers' salaries. Upon returning home, He took a good rest. In fact, from joining the battle to returning home, He didn't even use up an hour of time. Fortunately, within the formation, he also successfully broke through to the realm of heaven and humanity. Even the Xingyi tiger crane double-formed fist has been successfully completed. Once again, he took out the martial arts book, Qiankun Xingyi Divine Arts, that he had never dared to read before. This martial arts book was blocked by him with a refined jade box with modified values to avoid being noticed by the sensitive warriors. It was only after 3 years that he opened this jade box for the first time. Once again, the golden light blooms. However, with Su He's current strength, there will no longer be any inappropriate atmosphere leaking out of this bookstore. Fortunately, 3 years ago, everyone was attracted by the tiger and crane vision, and no one was drawn to the existence of various pills and other martial arts techniques in Shuha. Otherwise, perhaps 3 years ago, there would have been warriors killing and looting treasures. Feeling the realm of heaven and humanity that I have just broken through. External strength, internal strength, transformation strength, innate strength, heaven and humanity. Rao is a Su He who has read many books, but he doesn't know what kind of realm lies behind the realm of heaven and humanity. It is said that the founder of the Qin family once surpassed heaven and humanity, reaching the later realm. Afterwards, every head of the Qin family, after 3 generations, was only born. Just like in 276 AD of the Ming dynasty, a total of 16 emperors were born, and in 296 AD before and after the Qin dynasty's entry into China, there were a total of 12 emperors. The martial artists here have a longer lifespan, reaching the innate realm. They can have a maximum lifespan of over 200 years. The realm of heaven and humanity has a lifespan of 500 years. However, even so, few people can be the head of a long-lived family. For 500 years, the Qin family has also experienced 8 generations of family leaders. Either they died young halfway through, or when they ascended the throne, they were already quite young. Among these 8 family leaders, only the first 3 reached the realm of heaven and humanity. Since then, the Qin family, and even the entire Qin county, have no more experts in the realm of heaven and humanity. At this moment, Su He, who has become a celestial being, can clearly feel the power of heaven and earth that he touches with his every move. The last punch I punched just now was even comparable to the previous 10 of myself. Nevertheless, this is not yet his ultimate blow. No wonder the realm of heaven and humanity is so important. The distance between heaven and humanity and the innate realm is like 2 worlds. The gap between these is really too big. After passing through the realm of heaven and humanity, it is no longer divided into the top, middle, and bottom 3 grades, but into the 1st to 9th grades. Every class is a natural pit. The difficulty of breakthrough is no less than that of transitioning from innate to human. Su He's thoughts fluctuated, and when he reached the realm of heaven and humanity, his path of cultivation was likely to become increasingly difficult. The speed of his progress in cultivation was probably measured in 10 years. This is still fast. Others may have to live on a 100-year scale, and in the end, if their lifespan reaches 500 years, they will not become first-class beings. Watching Su He reach out his hand in Qiankun Xingyi Shengong, suddenly, a butterfly appears out of nowhere and lands in his hand. Looking at the pink butterfly, its wings fluttered slightly. Su He suddenly smiled. So this is soul art. Su He didn't even know the name of this soul technique, but he absorbed a lot of content in front of the inheritance stone tablet for a long time. As the fingertips flipped, the butterfly kept spinning and flying around Su He's fingers until it flew out of the window, like an ordinary butterfly, flying further and further. Perhaps once the soul magic energy it contains dissipates, it will disappear into this world. Until the stone tablet imparted all the content to Su He had already mastered all the soul techniques. In fact, this was not a fragment of soul techniques, but a complete version. But no one can persist in the center of that secret realm until they absorb all the inheritance without being harmed, or rather, not dying. He really wants to figure out what is the connection between Xingyi Tiger Crane Double Form Fist and Qiankun Xingyi Divine Skill and this soul technique. People all think that integrating 13 martial arts skills together and searching for the book garden www.zhaozhuyuan.com is the Qiankun Xingyi Divine Skill, but Su He does not have this feeling. Especially after he learned soul techniques and the Xingyi Tiger Crane Double Form Fist. He sat at the table, polished the ink, took out a stack of white paper, and began to record the content of soul art from his mind. Once the recording is completed, the values should be able to be modified. Not long after, a complete soul spell was recorded by He, and the modifier also had a reaction in his mind. The number of heaven and earth in the soul entering divine technique. 527-inch, a high-level soul technique written by a master in the heavenly and human realm, which can attack others' spiritual consciousness, spread out their spiritual thoughts, explore reality and emptiness, and transform reality into reality, creating illusions as real as reality. Watching the explanation, He pondered to himself. If both the soul technique and the shape and meaning tiger and crane twin forms are martial arts taught by that great master, and this soul technique is not a remnant, then it means that the normal shape and meaning tiger and crane twin forms are probably around 500. The self-modified Xingyi tiger and crane double-shaped fist has a value of 999, far exceeding the original Xingyi tiger and crane double-shaped fist. He's mind moved, and the number of heaven and earth in the soul and spirit technique changed from 527 to 9999. Suddenly, everything in soul entering divine technique changed. The material of paper is changing, and its content is also changing. Qiankun spirit divine skill. It's not the Qiankun Xingyi divine skill, but another completely different soul technique. But it seems he looked at the Qiankun Xingyi Shengong and Qiankun Ling Shengong in front of him. Among them, there are countless similarities in Daoyun, and even, they seem to form some kind of connection with each other. He opened one of the books, and surprisingly, the other one also followed suit. Chapter 10, Two Flowing Lights Flying into the Palm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He didn't touch another book. Suddenly, two massive forces rushed into He's mind and began to blend continuously with Xingyi tiger crane double form fist and Qiankun spirit divine skill. Countless abstract martial arts and Taoist rhymes, something that can be understood but cannot be expressed, have all transformed into streams of light and entered the divine soul of Su River. The later it goes, the more difficult it becomes to describe and preserve in words. This level of cultivation is entirely composed of information containing strange forms of existence. The operation mode of the meridians and internal forces in He's body has once again changed, and the internal forces have begun to solidify and boil. Unconsciously, with a click, the strength around He became even heavier. Until early morning, He stopped practicing the Qiankun Xingyi divine arts. At this moment, he was enveloped by a light blue energy. The energy gradually became introverted, and eventually, it was absorbed into his body. I see. Everything is originally 13 different inheritances, and there has never been a saying that 13 martial arts combined are the Qiankun Xingyi divine arts. It's just that the great master usually likes to use the Qiankun Xingyi divine arts, which leads to misunderstandings from the outside world. These 13 techniques complement each other, some represent fist techniques, some represent swordsmanship, and some represent soul techniques. I just don't know why this expert doesn't just teach the advanced version, but directly teaches the low-level version. But now, with the blessing of 2 martial arts books, I have set foot in the second-level realm of heaven and man, and now I am a second-level heaven and man. It's just one night. He felt the power around him, and now he has reached an extremely pinnacle in both martial arts and soul techniques. He guessed that his scores in Qiankun Xingyi divine skill and Qiankun Lingshan skill were higher than those of that great expert. So, even if I only have 2 books and that great master has 13 books, my martial arts skills may not be weaker than that great master. Of course, my current state of mind should still be inferior to that powerful one. However, it may be helpful to learn from that great skill and practice it primarily through the Qiankun Xingyi divine skill, supplemented by other techniques. After all, hands are the main body of a person, practicing boxing first and then practicing weapons. After all, Qiankun Xingyi Shengong originated from martial arts, and the cultivation mainly focused on double fists may be the most correct path. The martial arts he is currently practicing are already rare and top-notch in the world, but he is afraid that he will need to spend a lot of time practicing them. Daniel, it's time to upgrade. He called out the modifier and took out another pill from Rotten Street. This is a nourishing pill, and its effect is basically no different from ordinary health products. If changed to 999, it will become an innate body quenching pill. He has never tried the number 9999 yet. In an instant, a fierce force came from the pill, like an earthquake. The ground began to shake, and the sky began to surge. And he stimulated his internal strength, and with a loud cry, he suppressed this abnormal movement. Qingning, with light winds and clear clouds. If he had rashly modified the number 9999 3 years ago, it would have been okay if there were no anomalies. If there were anomalies, the scattered medicinal gas might have caused the smelling He to explode and die. Just like the pressure generated by Qiankun Xingyi Shengong also made He feel uncomfortable. If he flipped through it recklessly, it might be light for him to become obsessed with it, but heavy for him to be destroyed. I saw the medicinal qi formed by this pill forming a series of illusions. He isolated the world around his bookstore from the outside world and watched this vision. Purple qi is generated one by one, dividing yin and yang, gradually merging, and countless golden seal characters are created out of thin air, like scriptures, containing profound principles. Continuously piecing together in mid-air. A submissive pressure is born in this world, as if a weak realm is about to kneel before a pill. The number of heaven and earth in the Tianyan creation and transformation pill. 9999 a pill that contains great energy, can turn the world around, greatly improve physical fitness and martial arts talent. Even if a fool eats it, they will become a fool who can naturally break through without doing anything. In the midst of countless flowing golden seal characters, he saw the evaluation given by the modifier. Even now, he smelled the fragrance of the medicine, felt the natural energy emanating from the pill in the air, and felt his limbs become full, his whole body relaxed and relaxed. The energy released by this pill is already incredibly powerful. If it were me 3 years ago, I was afraid that by smelling this medicinal fragrance, I would have exploded and died. Take the pill and feel the changes it brings to your body. My body is becoming purer and closer to the true path of heaven and earth. Let's switch to this for future snacks. He was about to take a break when he suddenly remembered that after killing the tiger and crane, 2 streams of light flew into his palm. He took out 2 spherical objects from his collar. Looking at the mountain, it looks like 2 glass balls, and inside one of them is a beautiful white tiger with fur. And the other one is a flying crane. Beast Soul Collecting Rongzhu, find Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com Qiankun Tiandi number 322 a treasure bead used to store animal souls. If a strong person can use soul techniques to remove the divine souls of dead animals, they can accumulate in this treasure bead. This will keep the animal souls together for a long time. If necessary, the animal soul can be detached from the treasure bead as a means of attack. He attempted to use soul magic to activate these 2 beads, but there was no response at all. It seems that due to energy depletion, these 2 beast souls are unable to leave these 2 beads again. Perhaps he changed the heaven and earth number of these 2 beast soul collection beads from 322 points to 999 and tried the water directly. For a moment, the golden light scattered everywhere. Beast soul righteous body, number of heaven and earth. 999 it can be transformed into the actual body of a beast, but its explosive power is limited. At most, it can have innate entry-level strength. The daily awakening time is limited to 1 hour, and in a non-awakened state, its appearance is like a gem. Upon seeing this, he directly changed 999 to 9999. Once again, the golden light scattered everywhere. Beast soul reincarnation beast, heaven and earth number 99.99 human beings have 3 souls and 7 souls, while beasts only have 1 soul and no soul. Humans are the spirits of all things, while beasts only have life souls. Therefore, when a person dies like a lamp goes out, beasts can nourish life souls and reshape their body. This object can be transformed into a divine beast body, causing the divine beast to be reborn. Suddenly, 2 streams of light in Xingyi's hand flew towards the small backyard of the bookstore. In an instant, a huge white tiger, 2 people tall, and an equally sized white crane stood in the courtyard. Xingyi used his soul technique to create an illusion. At this moment, in the eyes of the outside world, this place was no different from usual. In the cramped space inside the courtyard, the 2 divine beasts looked at Xingyi with fear and respect in their eyes. They were careful not to touch anything inside the courtyard.